there are many people available in the market who will promise you the moon, and you are always competing with them because they will somehow give you a false assurance. And especially in the venture capital space, things are not as easy as they look. Our whole approach is that whatever works should be tried, but if something we know doesn't work, then don't waste time of anybody.
Hi Tushar, thank you so much for coming to Life-of-Founder. How's it going?
It's going great, Max. Thank you for having me. Great to be back again, with you on your platform.
You're back again, you're right. We did already one podcast a few years ago. And
Right.
after we had to pause to keep developing EquityMatch 2.0, and now we're back again. I'm very happy to have you with me. Today, you are an advisor, entrepreneur, investor, so you very much, and also as a startup founder, you are very much involved in all the process from A to Z. So today we talk about startups, we talk about the life of a founder, what is behind to start, scale, and possibly exit a startup. So before we start, would you like to give an introduction to yourself?
I came from a very small town up in the hills in the Himalayas. My father is an IIT and IIT Delhi engineer, and he was working in a government company. So my beginnings have been very small, but all the way from there, I've always latched on to knowledge as the way I look at things. So I've built my knowledge. I've delivered more than 1,000 talks, podcasts, panel discussions, speaking sessions. And since the last 10 years, I run Consultancy Ventures, which is an outfit in the investment space. And I'm also a venture advisor with two venture capital funds, and contribute to a portfolio of more than 450 startups across 60 countries. And So the journey has been great. We do SME funding as well, which is the medium enterprises, and we have been awarded a number of times in the process. And prior to my company consultancy, I've had my corporate stints in Deloitte and Touche, also Times of India's venture arm, Brand Capital, and I was CFO of a company owned by the American private equity fund Guggenheim Partners. Overall, very exciting journey for me.
That's a long story. A long story made short, but it gives you a lot of experience, seeing everything on both sides, having your consultancy company at the same time, advising funds and startups as well. In terms of opening your own company, whatever is going to be consultancy, tech, in any aspect, where do you see the most difficult part?
The most difficult part is that how do you build trust amongst your customers? How do you build stickiness with your customers? How do you become the place where they would like to come to you without thinking twice? And no matter how customer obsessed you are and how customer focused your organization is, but that is always the trickiest part, because in today's times when smartphone is available and things are available on the click of a button, and knowledge is democratized in the form of Grok, Gemini, Chat GPT, and others, Claude. So what is happening is that how do you stick your neck out in a way that brings people to you? That is the most difficult part, and if you are someone who can attract repeat customers and build lifetime value, then you have cracked the most difficult part of the puzzle. And it takes a lot because people are very pampered. They are used to quality service. They are used to freemium products, enjoying things without paying hardly anything, and that is the challenging part. How do you monetize is the second challenging part, but the first part is always how to build credentials.
You say something extraordinarily important. How do you build the credential and how you make sure that your customers or clients they come to you and they stick with you? So customer loyalty is very difficult to build. And even if you reach the point, it's very difficult to maintain. So we say customers are a bit reluctant to change, but it's very now. I'm not sure anymore because so many products and the technology is so speed that it's easy to replace something different with better quality and less price. How do you think? I would like to stop here. And how do you think you can build trust?
Well, you have to create a product which guarantees certain things. Like, if someone comes to you, like for us, we deliver three things. We deliver a network which helps you on the business side and investor side. Second, we provide management know-how, and that is through mentoring and podcasts and online sessions and offline events. And thirdly, we deliver funding, which is actual venture capital funding or structured debt or pre-IPO or IPO funding. So in all the three areas, we don't, we provide our best advice. Like if a company is inherently not VC fundable, you will never find us saying that come to us and sign up and we will try to get you VC funding. So, our whole approach is that whatever works should be tried. But, if something we know doesn't work, then don't waste time of anybody. And the problem is that there are many, many people available in the market who will promise you the moon, and you are always competing with them because they will somehow give you a false assurance, whereas we know what realistically is possible. And especially in the venture capital space, things are not as easy as they look. And anybody who's investing in you comes in for a long time, so it's a relationship which gets built. And if we are getting someone funded, then it is a trust on us as well, because the investor will catch us if we don't get the proper company funded. So things run both ways. So we what we do is that there are many things which are standardized, which we provide. Like we will always help with frequently asked questions, with how can you present your unit economics, how can you present your MIS, how can you what your business plan should look like. The best aspects of the business plan should come first, and the whole thing we package in such a way, and we pick genuine companies in which we ourselves are interested, because we also take a stake, so our skin is also in the game. So that is how we work, and I think that has fetched us good results.
I mean, you have your own company, which means you're an entrepreneur, but also you work with others' companies. Why do you see the biggest difference between advising someone where they are and running your own company? I mean, running your company is a different story.
It's completely different, Max. When you are advising somebody, you can have a verbal diarrhea and you can keep on speaking without even bothering to think how you yourself faced it when it came to you. So the thing is that being a consultant is the easier part, because all the information is available on the internet. So you can read and go and read and advise, and you can read and prepare reports. But when it comes to actual delivery, I'll give you an example. There was a guy who was advising a company who raised $20 million. and uh, he was on the board of directors, and he was advising them how to spend this money to generate customers and inquiries and leads and so on. And end of the day, that company folded up. And when they analyzed where the 20 million went, they realized that 12 million out of 20 million went to Facebook and Google because of
My
performance marketing.
God,
Yeah, so I
terrible.
mean, so what was that person doing, right? He never advised them to hire influencers, to use content marketing, to use the latest tools, and founder as a the founder could have done podcasts, and he himself could have led the whole thing. And so that's where there's a whole of bunch of difference between consulting and running your own show.
I mean, when you see there are too many consultants that they actually should be home. But when you see the most challenging part as an entrepreneur yourself, when you decide, I mean, aside of course finding the fit with your customers and what happens after, but when you say the most difficult part when you start a business.
The most difficult part is because you haven't seen the journey. So you are believing that it'll be a great journey because you are always, I always say that for being a founder, you have to be delusional. You have to believe in unlimited success. You have to be foolish enough to be 100% confident. And you have to believe you have to believe that it'll be very entertaining as well. You'll be on stage talking about your business, and the media will be asking you questions, and it is so rosy, like the way you look at Elon Musk, running on his aeroplane and doing all those things. But sadly, 90% of time being a founder is very boring, and it is very repetitive, and it is very stressful, and it is very challenging. And no matter how good your employees are, the fact is any one of them can leave any day and say that I'm not interested, I'm working somewhere else. So end of the day, the buck stops with you. And if you don't if you don't build a uh, uh, red lines and lines to stop your people to not take ownership, then you'll face a lot of stress. And so you have to build some kind of a safety valve. You have to have total good fitness, work on your mental fitness, work on your health, good health. And I guess, being spiritually elevated, being in a good health, these two are the uh, biggest way you can achieve success as a founder, more than
But
having a great business plan.
oh yeah, I mean, business plans are all wrong. There is nothing to do. I never see in my life one business plan, including mine, tell me the truth. And enough that you need to adapt any single day to find the right way, because the way you write on spreadsheet is not exactly that one. But you said be foolish enough, which is true. And the where is the vision in terms of believing that you absolutely will do it in any terms and conditions, and the reality they match? What I want to say is there is a day when maybe you as a founder, okay, must realize that probably what you're doing is not right, and you have two choice. One is close, the other one is be capable to change, pivot. Many founders, they started one way and it ended up successfully in a totally completely opposite way. The journey, the first part of the journey has been understanding that you were wrong. You had to change many things. We did the same in EquityMatch, and we are still changing because we understood that many things were not right. Oh, I mean, not right, which means they were not right in commercial way. In the end of the day, you need to pay the bills, right? You need to give the money back to investors. You need to please your shareholders. So can work. How, as a founder, you can understand where the dream stops and reality comes?
Well, if you have seen 1 year or 6 months of your product or service in the market, and the numbers are telling you that you will probably break even in next 1 year or 1.5 years. If you are seeing that kind of response from the customer, there is a reason to believe that you will do it. But if you are ignoring the customers' inputs and what they want to say about your product, then you are being delusional. So you have to listen very keenly. And the problem with most leaders is that once you have a fancy office, then you stop being in touch with the person on the road, and that's the biggest challenge. Then you start chasing vanity problems, and you start making your company into a not the company which started initially, and the whole agility, it goes away. And so to my mind, you know it is always about the customer. I mean, I'll give you an example. We came out with a program wherein we started helping the founders fine tune their business plans as well. And we said that we'll help you out with not only our network and funding, but we'll also help you out with fine tuning your business plans. So we believe that we are going deeper into the way we invest in companies and help investments in companies. But frankly speaking, it is not possible for you as an investor to sit in the shoes of each and every founder from each and every sector. It is impossible. So that product we had to withdraw, and we focused more on fine tuning our thesis rather than hand holding each founder, believing that we can do it all in all the sectors. That simply didn't work. So you have to draw lines about what you can succeed in, which kind of services can work in the market.
I mean, I agree with you, but on the other hand, there are business that takes long. There are business that, for example, Equity Match is my sixth startup. Yes, overall is sixth.
Wow,
And all my previous startups were in B2B.
B2B.
The cycle, you are in B2B as well yourself. And the cycle in B2B, although is longer, right? The understanding that your business actually makes sense in terms of market fit and adoption by your clients, customers, it's easier. You move to B2C, where Equity Match possibly is today, because we deal with founders in a very early stage where two people taking the money out from their own pocket. So I can't see any difference between B2C. So I can between our model and at the very beginning B2C, right? Because you give subscriptions. So when you move to this, is not as simple. Sometimes it takes a while to find your market fit, and it takes a while to start generating traction and possibly revenue. So you start asking to yourself, what should I do? Should I change completely everything? Or maybe I should give to this company more time to mature? Should I pivot something? So it's not that straightforward. Some businesses are, especially when you, for example, I found building Equity Match very challenging on the network side. Building network is very complicated. It took a while to reach 1,000 people. It's taking now time to reach 10,000 people. So many say that 10,000 is the break. So when you cross 10,000, multiples give you the leverage, but you need to get there. And after you need to monetize. So, for example, we started monetizing. We are still not fully there, of course. And my approach has been, okay, first of all, you can't survive on one revenue stream. Maybe you need several revenue streams. And the second is, because you are building a network, that's a long journey. And YouTube, for example, which today is one of the biggest companies in the world, it took a while for this guy having the first people posting something on the channel.
The network
They
effect
were
takes time.
desperate. Correct, correct. So the network effect takes time, seriously time. Sometimes spike overnight, but to get that
I
spike,
have some
you need to
moment.
work a lot.
some moment it goes viral, but you can never predict when that will happen.
Yeah, you're right. So it somehow I'm living this on my skin, right? So I'm doing this on a daily basis. When I started Equity Match, I said, okay, I thought it was much easier. I had to be honest. And after it took me a long journey to understand actually how it works, how what means building networking relationship with you. I mean, a network effect, as you said, with your customers and anyway with your users in our case. But again, you understand that okay, maybe I need to change something. How difficult is for a founder absorbing that what you are doing is not right and be capable to pivot, in your opinion?
It's That's the most difficult part, because you tend to identify with what you have created, and in most cases the founders are coming from a background. Either they have been trained into finance, or they have been trained into supply chain or marketing or something of that sort, and what has worked for them initially, they, whenever faced with uncertainty, they try to fall back upon the same formula. And changing your mind, uh, saying no to things which looked obvious before but they are not working anymore, is very difficult. And I believe 90% of the time that mental block uh, differentiates people between who succeed and who do not. And it is very easy to say pivot and change the business plan. But when you have put money, you have put sweat of 2 years, and you have put a lot of resources and people and their time and their motivations into it, it is not easy. But I've seen people who celebrate uh, uh, changing your mind and trying something new and something different as some sort of a success formula for founders. And I also believe, basis my experience, that it does work. That you need to uh, you need to look fresh at uh, many approaches. Like, for example, I really appreciate that you pivoted from B2B to B2C, and that would not have been easy, because B2B is a different ball game, but then the ticket sizes are more, so you tend to achieve a greater revenue. But on the
Yeah,
B2C front, it is like convincing 1,000 people to pay $5 each, for example. So again, that is a total different ball game. And I can very well understand how difficult it would be for you to identify the right place in the axis, the different axis. There is a stage of the business, then there is B2B versus B2C, then there is the ticket sizes, and whether to be more of a monthly subscription based network, or to charge basis each service you are providing, or to be a knowledge driven entity, or to be an execution driven entity. And all of these things, in a way, I can see your concerns, because I think you are fighting with a lot of competition. Like, across all the axes there are many players. So there is angel list, there is let's venture, there are crowdfunding platforms, there are VC funds, and in a way they are your partners as well, and all the time they are competing with you as well. So I think, for you, the the platform is very beautiful, and the branding
thank
is,
you.
yeah, the branding is superb. And I like the finish of how it how it's been done. And I guess, the network effect is what you need to achieve, wherein parties say that we have to be on equity match. Now, whether they have to be into it uh, because of whatever reason, but the biggest reason for them has to be that other people are on equity match, so they can't afford the FOMO should be there.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where your success lies, and I'm sure
Thank,
it'll happen very soon.
thank you so much. I mean, thank you so much. This is what we are doing now. We are building up our branding and making sure people understand that what we're doing is right for them. We crossed the first 1,000, which was indeed the
Awesome.
most important milestone. And after we are moving to 10,000, EquityMatch is already taking 50 users, even 100 users per week. So it's doing well. Of course, it takes time, as you say, to spike, to get the network very much growing. And the milestone is 10,000 for the next one. But thank you so much for your procession. Let me, let me move on something different. As a founder, how important is managing your cash flow? Because you say pivoting, but you can't pivot without cash.
See, I know a lot of CEOs, and frankly, the best advice I ever got from one of the CEOs of a Japanese sporting giant. He was the CEO of APAC for that area, for that company, and he said that behind every CEO there has to be, in the form of a CEO, there has to be a CFO who understands cash flow. Because
Yeah.
end of the day, if your marketing team is not firing, then the cost is there, the office is there, the team is there, the fixed cost is there, and so your guys who are leading the cash, bringing in the cash, they have to fire, and you have to be very very cautious. Like, this guy, when COVID came, he immediately slashed his costs. He immediately got 6 months buffer money in advance from the Japanese head office, and because he knew that getting revenue in that scenario would be very difficult. So he had to run his ship, and so cash flow is most important. I guess it is the number one criteria for a CEO on how to manage the show.
But you have your own company, you manage your own cash flow, you advise other startups and SMEs with their own cash flow. I did consultings for a while in my life, and there is a very little understanding of cash. Very little. I've been living in finance for the last 30 years of my life. Also. I'm 53 years, yeah, almost 30. And when I talk to founders, I see that cash flow it doesn't even come to their brain. How they calculate the drain of the cash at the very beginning when you have a startup where revenue are absolutely absent, and you have no idea when revenue will arrive. They still match the cash flow with the revenue. This is their runaway, which is totally wrong. So how a founder can educate himself? I mean, outside having a mentor and advisor, because the majority of tech founders, they're tech.
See, I learned it from Deloitte. I was in Deloitte and Touche, so I learned all financial engineering and hardcore finance from there. And frankly, my MBA finance did not teach me as much as those years in Deloitte taught me. And each number mattered. And I guess, the one another here, talking about the cash flow, the people who raised external money for suppose 18 months, you'll find them at a better footing than those who are trying to do it on their own. And I guess, at some point, external capital, risk capital, having that buffer of playing with other people's money is definitely that is a differentiator as well. And that's where your cash flows can initially support you more when you have external capital. So because there are many things you can't do bootstrapping, like, suppose you are
No.
wanting a high tech resource from a multinational company, and he's expecting that you give him 2% equity, then you'll also feel that whether you should part away with so much equity for one person or not, and all these things, they will bother you more. You won't be able to adopt resources freely. That's what I mean to say.
That's totally right. You need cash.
You
That's
need
all.
cash.
You need cash. There is nothing you can. There is no way you can avoid it.
Have you raised,
You
Max?
need to manage.
Have you raised?
we raised up to now £700,000, $1 million. We are raising
Oh,
now another 600. We are raising now another 600. The developer of this platform is pretty demanding. So
mhm.
I think overall by the end of next year, we need to raise another 10, 2000, 2 million euros to finish the platform. And that doesn't count at all revenue
Mhm.
because I never put revenue in cash flow because you don't know how much you make. You have no idea until you have a very solid track record. Revenue does come to me.
Yeah,
It's an external factor that if it's there, it's fine. It's not there, it's not fine. But when you build a platform like EquityMatch,
right.
uh, you need cash in the account to move forward. Yeah, we raised 700 overall. We've been backed by the venture capital of the state of Malta, which means each is one or shareholder now. And now we are raising this extra 600 for this year, probably 2 million in 2027. And by then, I hope we finish everything. We have structured solid revenue stream, and maybe we stop there.
Awesome, awesome. It's really happy to know that you have raised this money.
I mean, we raised a pre-seed funding overall of 700. It's so tough. Pre-seed funding, even for me, has been very tough.
Yeah, tough
Because
experience.
even if you have a strong network, people who know you personally, still people they don't give you the money for free. So I bootstrapped with the match myself for a while, and after I brought in few friend of mine, and after brought in the venture capital on Malta, and now we are raising an extra round, but still not in the venture capital space. Exactly more on the entrepreneur angels, all these kind of people and after we moved to a more venture capital structure round in 2027. Uh,
Hmm.
but let me as an advisor, as a founder yourself, how important is to have a very deep understanding how the world of venture capital works. I mean, it doesn't mean if you have startup you need to raise funds. It's not written anywhere. Maybe you can do yourself, you can bootstrap, or you're good enough to make revenue at the very beginning. But in case you move to venture capital, in case you move to asking for external capital, whatever it comes from venture capitalists or where they are, how important is for a founder to understand how it works, really how it works,
It
the
is
rules behind.
a very good question, Max. It is beyond the ratios and beyond the terms and the things which VCs use. It is about, the best funding you will ever receive is when you haven't asked for it. So, if you ask for money from a VC, the things are different. But if you meet him and talk about, and he asks about your business and you are telling about your business and he thinks that he should invest, then he'll give you the best deal. So creating that FOMO without being obvious about you needing funding is very important. And for that, you have to make the relationship first. And at some point, that person will have enough trust to invest in you. This is what I believe is the right way. And knowing how a VC works is very important because the VC has also taken money from some external people. So he also has to come true on their expectations, and their expectations might be that he will give them a 35% IRR over a long period. So the VC might be very pressured by that kind of expectations, and so those things are there. And here, one crucial difference is that what kind of VC it is. Is it a VC funded by an angel investors, or it is a VC funded by long patience institutional investors? So that also makes a difference. And VCs like Sequoia Capital and others, they are not easy to get. But end of the day, if they have put in their name in your company, then it matters a lot to them. So they will also help you in the future if you are doing well, of course. So learning VC is very
Exactly.
important, definitely.
There are several rules, right, behind a VC. For example, the basic one that I don't believe all founders probably know, especially the first time founder. if you have a startup that does, I mean, if you are asking money to a 200 million fund, which probably has to give back 5 times, 3 times return, let's go low, 5 times return, so which means 1 billion. If you're not a unicorn structure startup, don't go there because there is no way. Yeah, because any startup should pay back the entire capital plus the gain, which means must be a unicorn. But those rules are not, I mean, not all funds, it's not the fault. If you start your company, you're not actually studying what's going on in a boardroom of venture capital fund. I don't think so you will do this. But as you move forward, you must know at least the principles behind how a venture capital fund deploy money, which are the drivers for them to deploy those money. Not all startups are fundable. The 99% are not fundable at all. That's
Not
why
think
they fail.
yeah,
That's why they
that's
fail
true.
because they should not get the money in the first place. No,
Right.
because the model
Right.
is not there. The startup is not scalable enough to turn back $1 billion or euro, whatever pound, whatever it's going to be. How do you,
Right.
as a founder yourself, how a founder can avoid burnout? So many of them they explode.
You have to have draw lines around till how long you will work for this company in a day. Like, you can't be like, having calls at 10 p.m. and then morning 5 a.m., and that'll burn you out. You have to have structures around how you work. And mental fitness and physical fitness are two of the uh, biggest requirements of being a founder today, because there is so much of uncertainty, there is so much of stress, there are so many expectations. The market changes so much today. Trump says 50% tariff, then he says 18%, then he says 15%, then he says it is 35%. So I mean, the whole the whole global structure is so uncertain. And like, we never thought something like the pandemic will come. And the cost of money keeps on changing. Sometimes your currency is down, sometimes it is up. And wars break out, Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Iran. And the supply chains get disrupted. And it is a very uncertain world. It is not easy to be a founder in today's times. So if you are not focusing on your health, your mental health, on your physical health, it is not going to be easy for you. And that is where I suggest founders to switch off the mobile phone for some time, be away from the screen, be in nature, because you are a product of the nature. Actually, you are born
Yeah.
as a product of the nature. And stay away from all this noise which is there, and try to concentrate on simple things of life. Like, if you read that book, Old Path, White Clouds, by Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese monk. He says that if 20 people in your team are quietly eating together, that is a meditation. If you are sitting under a tree and reading a book and your mobile is switched off, that is being in your original neutral state. Most people are forgetting that state because you are
Yeah.
always wired. You are always wired in calls, messages. You are always wired in some rage bait post on social media. You are always, things are being thrown at you, and your mind is running so fast because there is so much of information. You have to slow down. Your mind has to slow down. That is now not how it is made. So this is
I
what.
mean, I agree. I agree in full. I agree in full. And I like what you say. We are part of the nature, and we must go back to the nature anytime we can. I do stop. I remember when I
You look
started.
quite fit to me.
I've been
Actually, Max,
entrepreneur.
I admire you. You always look so fit to me. I think you are somebody who really
Thank
bothers
you.
about mental and physical health.
I try to eat as clean as I can. Uh, I try. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a wife that eats like me. So we don't eat fat. We don't eat sugar. We don't. I own my. I drink a bit of coffee, but I stop at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't touch coffee at all, otherwise I will sleep. I try to sleep 8 hours per day, and I work
Wow.
out 1 hour per day. And but what really I understood, Tushar, is you need to break, you need to stop. So I used to work 12, 14 hours per day. Now, no, I don't do this anymore at all. I say I plan the week. I don't plan the day anymore. I plan the week. I say this week, these things done. All right. I need to give myself time to go to the gym, to have a walk, to open a book, to read, to spend some time with my family, and things that I was not doing at all before.
Wow.
But
Really awesome, Mac.
I can only see thank you. I can only see the difference in good and not in bad. Because yes, I never burn out in my life because I don't know why my brain doesn't burn out. I mean, I sleep overnight. The day after, I'm very fresh. But at the same time, I don't. It's about performance. You don't perform well. You are very. You are not focused enough. When you don't have enough sleep, things get tough. And maybe even things that are simple becomes complicated because you're tired, right? So
Absolutely.
working for me, working when you're so tired, it's just wasting time.
It is.
So I just stop.
It is. You're
I go for a
absolutely
walk,
right.
or I shut down the phone. I shut down the thing. But what I really agree with you is turn the phone off.
Yeah.
So I
The moment
spend
you,
my Sunday, my phone doesn't exist. On Sunday,
yeah,
my phone is. I don't even touch the phone on Sunday. It's there. I don't touch it at all. I take the phone the day after on Monday. I have my number for my family so they can call me there, and that's all. My phone is not touched. I don't touch laptop on site. Zero complete. And
mhm.
I gave my rules. At 10 o'clock at night, my phone goes to sleep. I touch him 9 o'clock in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I don't watch the phone at all. I touch the phone only 2 hours after waking up.
I want to say that for
So
sure,
again,
Apple is not going to fund you.
no, but okay. I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of phones, although I use them.
Yeah.
But I do believe technology should not overtake your life. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Digital
Uh,
detox is reality. Yeah.
It does make sense, right? Spending, scrolling, uh, social media, right? So
Yeah.
I don't believe I spend. Although in Equity Match we are building our own social media site, I mean social media or networking media. Uh, I don't spend on LinkedIn probably more than 10, 15 minutes per day. I don't scroll X at all. I close my Facebook account, and my life changed completely in good. So there is no comparison when you are so overwhelmed by news. And today, you can't even understand what is fake or not. What's the point? So I
Absolutely.
give you an example. I take sources only from main newspaper. I take sources, for example, on financial side. I take sources only from the financial side, Financial Times and Bloomberg. Period. I take source on CNN, BBC, and probably I can stop there because I'm sure,
Wow.
although everything is biased in this world, everything it is. There is no newspaper or news that is not biased somehow, but at least you have a
Yeah.
different level of quality. Okay, if you go to social media today, I can challenge anybody to understand the difference between what is fake and what is not fake.
Absolutely.
AI is like a nuclear, right? So the nuclear energy is
Yeah.
very good if you don't use for killing people. AI is very good if you don't use AI to obliterate humanity. But in this case, it's seriously we are moving to obliteration, total obliteration, total obliteration.
Right.
So
Absolutely
yes, I
agree.
mean burnout is tough. Burnout is tough. I've seen so many kids, so many founders burnout. I saw if I so I gave 50K in pre-seed funding to a guy in Italy. Very smart guy.
Hmm.
Very smart guy. Very smart guy. So
Hmm.
and he was building a company, and I told him, okay, that's a very proceed. You're in absolutely at the stage. I put my chip and let's see what you can do.
Hmm.
So he didn't close the company. The company failed. He didn't close the company because the business model was wrong or the product was wrong. Actually, it was very good. He
Hmm.
closed the company because he burned out totally, completely. He went
Oh, he
fully
burned out.
burned out.
Oh,
totally,
Okay.
completely. I mean, I couldn't recognize him. I told him, close it. I don't mind. Let me lose this 50K. Close, because you
Mm-hmm.
can't end yourself anymore. I mean, I can see there is nothing you can do. I mean, you are completely done.
Yeah.
Because he was
Mm.
working night and day, Saturday and Sunday, and doing too many things together. Uh, Again, it's not simple. Be a founder is very complicated. Building a strong company is very tough. So
Very, it is very tough.
it's not for
Yeah.
everyone.
The
It's
buck
not for
rests with
everybody.
you, no matter how good a team you would have.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I talk today when I'm 53, so I've been doing enough already. If I made the decision, don't be bothered by social media, or turn off my phone 2 3 hours per day at least. Don't touch the phone from 10 o'clock in the morning at night until 9 o'clock in the morning, which is almost 12 hours per day. I don't touch the phone.
Right.
It changed my life in good, but very much good. In absolute terms. Also, because let's be honest, what you get from scrolling an X account for 1 hour, I don't get anything
Yeah. Nothing.
except a lot
Nothing.
of
Nothing.
rubbish,
Yeah.
a lot of fake news, a lot of rubbish. And
Yeah.
what's the point? All right, be focused on what matters in your life, and that's all.
The algorithms are so smart; they will catch you what you want to see, and they will keep on showing that to you.
It's
So,
funny because you can comment only one post, and that could will give you another 50 posts exactly the same argument. You say, okay, that's fine. Actually, I'm not just living on this, right? So algorithms are smart, but they are built in a way that they believe people are stupid. That's my opinion. But let me close.
right.
Let me close with this one. It's been very enjoyable to talk to you. How?
Thank you
I mean,
so much.
what can be, if you can advise anything, if you can recommend anything to the founders starting today, what would be your recommendation?
Of course, the first thing is always that develop a healthy routine which keeps space for your mental and physical health. Secondly, at some stage, take external funding because you can't, probably a business plan which has a lot of growth aspect into it. It has to have a lot of capital component as well in most cases and think big if you are thinking small. Let me tell the founders that if you are thinking of creating a $1 billion company, you might end up creating a $50 million company. That is still an achievement. So I mean, but if you are thinking of creating a $10 million company in 5 years, probably you will end up creating a very small company. And so, people will come to you, strangers will come to you and help you out. They will give you a helping hand if they believe that you know where you are going. So, a lot of clear headedness is good. And, people uh, get added to your team. They join you because they believe in you, uh, because you are trying to create something. And of course, the intention matters a lot, what you are creating. And if you are creating something which will fundamentally help the environment or the human beings, then probably a larger number of people will believe in you. And so, all these things, but one heads up I want to give for the founders: today's time is the best time to be a founder because you have a lot of tools in your hand. Funding has become very common in people's minds, especially with Shark Tanks and other things. And uh, the capital is flowing around in all directions, and knowledge has become democratized. So it is very easy to search and understand things. Rather, there is over information, so you have to filter out. So enjoy the journey because it is not going to be very entertaining. It might be very repetitive. It might be very boring as well. But uh, try to enjoy the journey. Try to enjoy the little achievements, and surely you will make it one day.
Tushar, thank you so much for coming to Live Founder. It's been an
Thank you
absolute
so much,
pleasure.
Max. Great to talk to you again. Have a good day and all the best to Equity Match.
Thank you. Same to you.